We here at 59 Gaming love Global first. A very exciting time for both the JP and Global, both versions when they get new things at the same time. Just super cool, honestly, and hopefully they do more of this in the future. Very recently, the Global Dokkan Twitter account did put out a little survey for us, and they asked, what would you prefer to get first? EZA LR Super Saiyan God Goku or EZA Beerus and Whis? Now, a lot of people are very excited for this, and because of that, we did want to, of course, do our own fan-made cards version for this, and we got a bunch of your guys' designs. We put it out on the 59 Gaming Twitter, which you should, of course, go ahead and follow if you have not already. So, a bunch of our content creators here are reading out some of your designs, so that's basically the gist of it. Without further ado, let's hop into the first content creator and let's see what you guys came up with.
Just a quick reminder before we get into the video that our merch is still available until November 12th at 12 PM CST, 11:59 to be sure. You can still get the hoodies and the t-shirts, so make sure to get them today. And if you want, keep an eye out for all this stuff and make sure to follow us on Twitter. Alright, that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
What is going on, 59 Gamers? Joe Eggs here with another fan-made card participant video. And what we're doing in this one is we're looking at LR Beerus and Whis, and we're looking at Int God Goku. Now, what's happening here is we are basically gone global. So this is actually a global thing. JP will probably be getting these cards too, but we're having the opportunity to vote for who's going to EZA next. So that means one of these is coming soon. So it's going to be God Goku or Beerus and Whis. It'll probably be similar to the last voting thing that we did where it was like Goku Black versus Vegito, and they came out, you know, relatively close to each other on Global and JP. It wasn't like a crazy deal, but what we're looking at is what your ideas are for these EZAs, and I wanted to take one for Beerus and Whis because I think everybody's talking about God Goku right now. In my opinion, maybe an unpopular one, but I kind of want Beerus and Whis to get it first. Now, I base that solely on the fact that they're older and they deserve it more. But everyone has valid criticisms, right? That like Goku's just got a way better kit to start with. He's got way more teams, way more units to link with. But I do think whatever they're dropping this for, it's got to be like a, it's got to be like a Battle of Gods type thing or a Realm of Gods type of celebration. So my assumption is they're going to be dropping supports for these units, right? Like, imagine STR Whis gets an EZA, maybe Physical Beerus. I don't think it's safe to say that Beerus, Physical Beerus wouldn't get an EZA, right? Like, he definitely could. They've done very, somewhat, like, Physical Beerus, I mean, they're very similar timeline to, say, STR Cooler, who got an EZA, right? So, they start EZAing some of these guys, maybe come out with a new Dokkan Fest, right? Like, Beerus and Whis could be looking pretty good. So I kind of want to see, and here's the thing, Beerus and Whis' kit is like super basic. So there's a lot that, could happen with this unit. And I really liked the build that this user came up. So let's get into this concept here. So this one here comes to us from GT Fusion. So thanks for your submission. So this is for STR Beerus and Whis. So the super attack effect previously, all that these did was recover HP. So now what we have is raises attack and defense for 1 turn, colossal damage, and 7% HP healing. And then the 18 key is greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes mega colossal, and recovers 12% HP. I think these are very realistic super attack effects. Really what we're looking for these days is, at least the defense raise on super, maybe attack and defense. And like, I think a 1 turn raise is fair here. Greatly stacking for 1 turn I think is going to be good enough for this unit with their LR stats, and we're looking pretty good. The 12 and 7% is exactly the same as the non-EZA. I could see these being upped a little bit. Maybe go up to 10% on the 12 key and maybe 15 on the 18 key. I could see that. But yeah, I think that's very solid for a very realistic super attack effect, right? And then the passive. So previously, their passive didn't have a lot going on for it, right? It was just attack plus 80% and then attack and defense 60% after receiving an attack. And that was it. It was just they had base stats. And the thing is being how old of an LR this is, with LR stats, that was very good, because this was back in the day where, like STR Broly and these other insane LRs just had like flat passives. They didn't have percent passives, right? So just the fact that they had a percent passive with LR stats was really good. Now, by today's standards, this is very low. So what they've done here in this build is they've upped the numbers and then added some really good tech to help them in modern content, right? So now they're upping it to attack and defense 120, and then another attack and defense 80, and guard all attacks for 5 turns after receiving an attack. So getting guard for 5 turns I think would be very, very good there, right? Plus an additional key 3 and attack and defense 10% per Realm of Gods or movie boss's ally on the team other than self, max of 50%. They probably... I think this key 3, I think they just mean that to just be 3 key, because I can't imagine they would give you 3 key per ally on the team. That would be like a ridiculous amount of key. So I don't think they would realistically give you 3 key per. Like, what's more realistic is this would be an additional key plus 1 and attack and defense 10%. I think that's more realistic, but I like the idea of this, right? More stats and encouraging you to use movie bosses or Realm of Gods. I think that's good because, you know, thinking about it, that's what like Beerus's leader skills are for the Dokkan Fest, right? So I really like that play there. Maxing up to 50% extra attack and defense. Then this is nice. Reduces damage by 5% per Rainbow Key Sphere obtained up to 40%. And then all allies key 2 and attack and defense 30% with 3 or more Rainbow Key Spheres obtained. I love this because it's giving them a support passive. They're getting guard and damage reduction, but it's not like so unrestricted that I don't think Dokkan wouldn't do it. It's not like Tech Ultimate Gohan of ridiculousness. I think it is realistic, because here's the thing. Guarding after receiving an attack is good, but it's not the most busted thing in the world because you're still susceptible for that first hit, right? You're in slot 1, that first hit, you could still take a lot of damage, right? So you do have to kind of take a normal first to activate your guard. So it's not like super busted. And then damage reduction 5% per Rainbow Key Sphere. I would say realistically, you know, 2 to 3 Rainbow Key Spheres is realistic, even if you have an Orb Changer. But it's very hard to just like grab 5 Rainbow Key Spheres because the game doesn't prioritize unless it gives you more key. So the one thing I would maybe add with this, if you are going to get damage reduction per Rainbow Key Sphere, I think if you just throw on an extra key plus 1 per Rainbow Key Sphere, that would be nice for this unit because then the game would prioritize the Rainbow Key Spheres, which would be really, really nice, right? And then giving the support with 3 or more Rainbow Key Spheres, sometimes you'll get it, sometimes you won't. Now, obviously the flaw with this kit is that he wants Rainbow Orbs but doesn't Orb Change, but the reason why I like this build is because it really plays off of Physical Beerus, right? This is really meant to be a complementary unit to Physical Beerus because once again, Physical Beerus is leading these teams, but Physical Beerus also Rainbow Orb Changes, which then combos really well with this unit, right? So I think this is a very cool creative build, and what I liked about it, once again, is I do think this is fairly realistic. You know, some people do these builds and it's just like, oh my god, yeah, that's busted, but will they ever do it? I don't know. Now, I definitely could see Dokkan doing less than this build. Like, they've been, you know, like, if you look at, like, Int Bardock, like, Int Bardock is cool, but, man, his passive is just so basic. But, you know, it was enough. Like, it's still, he hits like a truck. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. I definitely wouldn't be surprised if they're still pretty basic with this Beerus and Whis, because LR EZAs haven't been the craziest. But if we got this build right here from GT Fusions, I'll take it. So, anyways, guys, we'll pass it off to the next one.
Our next concept comes from Sippin' Coco, shout out to you, and they chose to give an EZA to Beerus and Whis, so let's see what we're working with here. Actually, let me pull up LR Beerus and Whis on the wiki, just so I can refresh my memory on what they do as I read through this EZA really quickly. Where is Beerus? There we go. Pull up Beerus and Whis. Boom. Okay, so on the 12 key, they're raising attack and defense for 1 turn and recover 10% HP. And on their 18 key, they're greatly raising attack and defense for 1 turn and recovering 15%. What was it before? It was 7 and 12. So they're keeping the 5% gap, increasing both by 3%, I believe, which is definitely really good, I think. If you're performing multiple super attacks, you're going to be able to recover quite a bit of HP, which is definitely really good, giving this character quite a bit of utility already. And the fact that we're raising defense on both 12 and 18 is a godsend, so thank you for that, Sippin' Coco. Now let's move on to the passive skill, 3 key and 130% to stats. Okay, I just want to mention really quickly that LR Beerus and Whis have a very high defensive stat, so 130 is actually a lot better than what it looks like. They're guarding all attacks before attacking. Okay. So basically a designated slot 1 character. Key plus 3 and 80% to attack and defense for 5 turns after receiving an attack. I believe it was 50, 60% before. 60%, okay. Launches an additional super attack when ki is 24. Ki +1 per ki sphere obtained. Changes one random type of ki sphere excluding STR to rainbow, and gains an additional crit chance +7% and recovers an additional 3% HP per rainbow ki sphere obtained. Okay, LR, Beerus, and Whis are actually very good here. There's a lot that we're working with. So, guarding in slot... Okay, so the only weakness with this is, you know, if you're bringing a character like this, who's guarding in slot 1, you're expecting to run this unit in slot 1, right? So if the enemy isn't attacking in slot 1, and LR, Beerus, and Whis are on rotation, and you don't really have another slot 1 option, and let's say the enemy super attacks you in slot 2, you won't be guarding, and you won't have this active as well, assuming, you know, it's like slot or turn 1. So there are instances where I can see this Beerus and Whis getting obliterated, right? But not every unit needs to be extremely OP. I actually think this is a very well-designed EZA, especially since there's a lot of HP recovery happening here. They are raising defense on 12 and 18 ki, which again, like I mentioned, is we want to see that in units nowadays. If this character does actually get hits, we're working with 6 ki and 210% to attack and defense. We have a really strong ki mechanic, the ability to, okay, yeah, when you pair this ki mechanic plus orb changing, the 24 ki is going to basically become free, especially if this is the first character attacking in the turn, which they're kind of meant to do because they are guarding in that slot 1, so it's going to be fairly easy to get this 24 ki, which means it's going to be easy to raise your attack and defense even more, which means you're going to be able to actually recover HP a lot more as well. And I mean, I guess the chance to crit +7%, I mean, on average, you're collecting, what, maybe 2-3 rainbow ki spheres, so working with 28% chance to crit, which is definitely better than nothing. And then the extra HP regen here is also really good as well. I also like here that you can actually still run Beerus and Whis as a third slot option, because we know that orb changers, even though, you know, they aren't necessarily the greatest in terms of, you know, having them float off, units who can orb change do work very well in that third slot. So I mean, it's a little tricky because you don't really know if the enemy is going to be attacking in that, or maybe even super attacking you in that third slot. So defensively, it could be a little tricky, but if you're running an event where you have type advantage or the enemy isn't really too strong, you can still float off this Beerus and Whis and support the rest of the rotation with the ability to rainbow orb change as well. So overall, I think we're working with a really good EZA here. Sip and Coco, shout out to you for actually, I would consider a really I would say it's actually a little stronger than balanced, but nothing too OP at all. Granted, you get everything working in your favor. I actually really like this EZA. Shout out to you. It's been your boy, Mr. Baby, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video.
What is going on, my dudes? Tasher here, back again with 5-9 Mobile, and as always, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. We would love it if you guys did, but no more talk about that. Let's go ahead and talk about what we see here. Now, we know that either Beerus and Whis or God Goku are getting an EZA. That's right, Int LR God Goku or STR Beerus and Whis. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about some, you know, possible entries here, and we wanted to get from you guys what you thought would be, you know, fantastic EZA. So let's go ahead and get into it. This one is coming from EX Gaming 69. Yes, the best number. So let's go ahead and talk about what you did here, my friend. First off, 12 ki super, greatly raises attack and defense for 3 turns and causes colossal damage to the enemy. Not bad, stack it for 3 turns, I'll take that. 18 ki is greatly raises attack and defense for 6 turns, causes mega colossal damage, and greatly lowers defense. Preach! That would be so good for God Goku in all honesty, and I'd be hella down for it. I'm just saying infinite would have been greater, but of course, you know, there's gotta be some balance, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about this passive skill. Attack and defense plus 130%. Ki +1 up to 5, and attack and defense plus 11 up to 55 per Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans category ally self-excluded on the team, plus an additional defense plus 20% and plus 10% critical chance within the same turn after evading an attack. Great chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and performing a critical hit for 7 turns from the start of battle. Now, really quick before I continue, that's really good because greatly, or a great chance of dodging is, I believe, 70%. So that's really, really good. Or at least we think it's really, really good, but turns out it's just another UI Goku. But anyway, high chance of evading enemies' attacks, including super attacks, starting from the 8th turn. Launches an additional attack with a medium chance of becoming a super attack when all allies on the turn. When all allies on the turn are pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. Now, sorry, it's a little bit late for me. I've been up all day, but this is really, really good, especially compared to what we used to have, only having the attack plus 77%, and having the, like, just a high chance of evading enemies' attacks. I think this is fantastic in comparison and a great EZA. You have what consists of a really good passive, especially when it pertains to you needing to dodge to do certain things, and you have the dodge built in all throughout your kit. It's great. Now, the fact that it plays on the pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans thing is really good as well, because the fact that he is a lead for pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans. I wish that we would get some of these weird crossovers a lot more, like Goku's family, Vegeta's family in one, or movie heroes, movie bosses type of thing. It'd be really cool to see conflicting categories work together like this one. So, EX Gaming 69, I really like your submission. Keep on submitting them. And guys, we will catch you guys in the next fan-made EZA. Please take care and be safe, y'all.
Alright guys, it's Gale Riot here. We are back with another person's iteration for one of the EZAs of God Goku or Beerus and Whis, because we got the vote and stuff, right? I mean, that's the whole theme of this video, of course. But I'm looking at somebody's God Goku. Now, this is by QB1 Howie, so shoutouts to him. And I'm curious to see how people have designed this God Goku, because in all honesty, I would love for the Intel or God Goku to be potentially better than the Tech God Goku that we obviously saw get an EZA during the 7th anniversary, but it's going to be very tricky, right? I mean, that Tech God Goku is insane, especially against pure Saiyans and movie bosses, so it covers such a core part of the game. It's practically impossible to beat that Tech God Goku, but it's not impossible, I don't think. I don't think it's impossible. It is nearly impossible, though. So let's have a look. See, I mean, let's see what we can come up with, right? So QB1 Howie comes up with the super attack effect of greatly raising attack and defense for 3 turns on his 12th key and causes colossal damage and lowers attack. So if I'm not mistaken, right now on the 12th key, it's only 1 turn of greatly raising attack and defense, so making it 3 turns is great. 18 key massively raises attack and defense for 3 turns, causes mega colossal damage, and massively lowers defense. You know what? I think that would be insane, because if he is on the main rotation and you get that 3-turn stack going on, right? Assuming he is on main rotation, he'll come back every 3 turns twice, so that means you'll have a 200% stack up at all times post supering, which is pretty decent in all honesty. A 200% defense and attack boost after supering, once he gets going on the 3rd turn, is pretty decent. It is very, very decent. His passive skill is now attacking defense 177%. That's a big jump if I'm not mistaken. I think currently it's only 77%. And key plus 1 up to 5 and attacking defense 20% up to 100%. I think the defense is only 55% on the per pure Saiyans and hybrid Saiyans category ally on team. So, I mean, again, a huge boost there. Again, really solid there, I would say. Really, really solid there. And then an additional 100% attack and defense when facing a Battle of Gods or movie bosses category enemy. I don't think there's Battle of Gods category, but I think a better category for this would be probably Realm of Gods, I would say. Either Realm of Gods or movie bosses. I think that would probably be a lot better, potentially. I think that's the best way to go about it, in all honesty. A movie bosses or Realm of Gods category enemy, because that would pretty much cover a decent chunk of the game. Not as much as, say, pure Saiyans and movie bosses like God Goku does, but something like Realm of Gods and movie bosses would probably be better here. Battle of Gods isn't a category yet, of course. I don't think it'll even be a category because, well, it's such a small category. What are you gonna put in it, right? Alright, and a high chance to evade an enemy attack and performs a critical hit for 7 turns from start of battle. So I would have preferred if this went up to great chance. I think that's the one thing that would have, even though I hate the whole concept of a chance to dodge, because in more cases than not, they don't dodge. UI Goku, you are a culprit of this. But I think even then, giving him a great chance to dodge and then giving the guaranteed crit for 7 turns from start of battle would have been amazing. Honestly, he would be insane in that regards. This is a way more offensive build though, I would say. This is definitely a more offensive build compared to Tech God Goku's more defensive build. But even then, I think this guy would do extremely well. Now, I don't know how the stats would work and everything, but with the 200% attack and defense, the 177% start of turn, and then the 100% multiplicative buff, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure it's an additional buff. It's a multiplicative buff through the Pure Saiyans and Hybrid Saiyans category. And then the other 100% movie bosses and Realm of Gods bonus you're getting here. I think this guy's gonna be easily like over 1 million defense. It has to be, right? Somebody who knows math and can do the defense per turn calculation, please go ahead and do it, because I'm very curious. But yeah, this is a really nice design. I don't know if I would use him over the Tech God Goku just because of the coverage he has. That being said though, he is a great alternative in cases where you're not facing a Pure Saiyan or movie boss. Even in movie bosses, I would probably run this guy potentially over Tech God Goku, potentially. Depends on the stage and if you can dodge and stuff like that. If you can dodge, this guy would probably come in, But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let's move on to the next content creator and see what they have to say.
Okay, and here we are at the final submission. Again, thank you to everyone who did give us your fan-made card ideas. I absolutely love reading these ideas out, and it's just very fun doing these videos. I'm sure everyone, content creator team, Mr. Baby, Mas Ningen, Tystra, Gale, they all had a lot of fun picking out from these, and it is very difficult to do so, right? But let's hop right in here. This is a Beerus and Whis design made by Epic Blade Blur here, and let's talk about it. So, the super attack effect for Beerus and Whis, all it did before was recover HP, so now it does raising defense for the turn, causes colossal damage, and recovers a 12% HP again, right? I believe it covered 12% HP. I forgot the exact number, but you guys get the point, right? Now its ultra super attack effect, 50% attack defense for the turn, mega colossal damage, and then 18% HP. Now again, that could be quite a lot of HP you can recover. If you get an additional super attack, this man can recover 30% HP within one turn. That's a lot. That can be like a game changer to recover 30% HP just by getting an additional. That's really, really good. So, right here, straight off the bat, 5 key. Very, very powerful for this unit. Getting 5 key like that, especially because, again, if you're going to use this unit like a Realm of Gods team or something with like all these Saiyans a lot of the times floating around, right? This unit getting a lot of key would be very helpful. Other than 120% attacking defense, giving him defense start of turn. Attacking defense plus 80% for 5 turns after he receives an attack. And on top of that, he guards all attacks as the first attacker in turn. So that allows him to be able to get that first hit built up very safely. And that obviously will be a good thing, because what can happen after that is after he's put in the first slot, right? He will be able to also get a high chance of evading enemies' attack. And he does an additional that has a 50% chance of becoming a super as the second or third attacker. So if you are able to put him, in the second or third slot, which again, let's say Realm of Gods, where you have, Tech God Goku on there, even like LRUI Goku, even the Int God Goku that's getting an EZA, right? He has a dodge chance, and he probably will be good once he EZAs, right? So you could put this guy and have him like a very safe floating unit that does have this passive up. And then if you have to put him back on rotation, he can keep the guard and the actual stat, get that back up again, which could be very, very good. Even as a floater, if you get this on this, and then that first it may hit a little hard, but after that, he still has a dodge chance, and then he will be able to get a lot tankier after that. So I like this design overall. Even more, he gets an additional key 1 up to key plus 2 with a 10% attacking defense up to 30% with each attack received. Then the same buff, right? The build-up buff where it goes up to 30% attacking defense and 2 key with each attack performed. So in total, when you perform 3 attacks and then get hit 3 times, he gets another 2 key and then 60% multiplicative attacking defense. So to basically break that down, that is going to be 9 key at the start of turn, 120% attacking defense at the start of turn, then a multiplicative buff of 120% on top of that. Then you could either have him guard or dodge with the additional, right? Then even more so, once he do get the 3 attacks for both receiving and performing, you see right here, he does another additional that has a high chance of becoming a super. So you get to have this guy get quad supers as like the 3rd attacker or 2nd attacker. And then how much HP is that he can recover? That's... Okay, that would be 36% HP if you get the, 12 key supers. Plus 18%, that's what, 52% HP? That's half your HP recovered. Now you have to get a really good turn, but those high chances won't be that hard to get. And even in the first slot again, if he does get, the actual just 3 supers, that is 30% HP, 32% HP, right? That's, again, a third of your HP. Very, very powerful. I like this guy because it's like, he will do a lot of damage for sure. But I think the more important thing here is that he's going to be healing and then he's going to provide another tanking role, right? While he's doing good damage. And that's something that not many characters are able to do. Like, we got recently LR Meta Cooler, a very, very powerful healer unit, but there's not like, many units that are designed specifically for the healing. And I think that's a big part of this LR Beerus and Whis EZA aspect. So that's very exciting, but let me know what you guys think of these designs. Thank you all for watching till the end. And of course, we'll catch you all in the next 5-9 video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace out.